Let me tell y'all what's going on in Cleveland right now, because this isn't just some training camp storyline. What we're witnessing could be one of the wildest, most disruptive quarterback dramas the Browns have faced in years. News is exploding all over social media and sports talk circles. Trust me, it's not just hype. I've been following this closely. And multiple sources, real ones, not just Twitter rumors, are confirming that something serious is happening. Inside the Browns locker room, at the center of it all, rookie quarterback SHEDEUR Sanders? Yeah, the same 5th-round pick everyone assumed would just quietly work his way up the depth chart? Well, forget all that. What started as a normal training camp battle has now turned into an all-out internal power struggle. Oh, this thing is threatening to rip apart the chemistry of the entire team. Let me break it down. Sanders has been on an absolute tear. Despite where he was drafted, he's been outperforming veterans on a level that's got the entire organization shaking. I'm talking across the board: completion percentage, reads, timing, red zone decision-making, you name it. Not just raw talent either. The way he carries himself, the way he prepares. It's unsettling the pecking order in that quarterback room. You better believe the vets are noticing, so please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button. Like the video and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Now here's where things really start heating up. Dillon Gabriel, the Browns' 3rd-round pick, was supposed to be that guy. Developmental prospect with a clear runway to eventually take over. Instead, he's watching Sanders take over the reps, take over the huddle, and basically take over the damn locker room. And from what I've heard, Gabriel's not handling it well. Not at all. Reports say Gabriel's been distant in meetings. He's avoiding Sanders, skipping optional throwing sessions, canceling meetings with receivers, and straight up disengaging during film study. Some inside the organization are saying it's more than frustration, it's unraveling. Like mentally. One person even compared the tension in the QB room to radioactive toxicity. That's how bad it's gotten. And it all seemed to boil over after a recent practice. Sanders was with the 3rd-string offense and went off 17 straight completions, 3 touchdowns, and he did that against the starting defense. That's not just a good day, that's a statement. So what happens? The offensive coordinator bumps him up to run with the first team right then and there. And Gabriel, he storms off the field. He took his pads off and vanished into the facility. I'm telling you, players were looking around like, what the hell just happened? Now here's where things get really complicated. The vets are split. Some are questioning why a rookie's getting this kind of treatment, but others, especially the younger guys, are saying, look, it's not about hierarchy anymore, it's about production. And Sanders is producing. Period. This dude is calm under pressure, shows up before anyone else, leaves after everyone else, and he knows the playbook better than guys who've been here for years. I'm not exaggerating. That's what people inside the building are saying. And then there's Gabriel. This was a guy with a ton of promise out of college, but now the cracks are showing. Mechanics that were never questioned before are now being picked apart. The comparisons to Sanders aren't just uncomfortable, they're brutal. And I'm hearing that Gabriel's feeling so threatened, he's actually keeping notes. Yeah, he's been logging reps, tracking how coaches talk to each QB, even watching how the media covers them. Word is, he's sharing all of it with his agents, trying to build a case that the team's biased against him. Let that sink in. Coaches are worried, like really worried about his mental state. They're even floating the idea of getting him some psychological support. Because this isn't just about football anymore. This is identity stuff. Gabriel came into this thinking he had a plan, a future. Now, all of that feels like it's slipping through his fingers. Meanwhile, Sanders, he's just keeping his head down and bawling out. He's not feeding into the drama. When Gabriel pulls away, Sanders leans in. I've heard he's still trying to talk to him, trying to support the team, trying to keep things together. That's maturity you don't usually see in a rookie, let alone one under this kind of spotlight. But make no mistake, this locker room is divided. Gabriel's built a little group of loyal linemen around him. Sanders has got the receivers and skill guys who love his accuracy and leadership. Even the special teams coach has started sounding alarms about how socially fractured things are becoming. Players aren't even showing up to team bonding events. Groups are isolating. And though the defensive players are staying neutral in public and private, they're admitting Sanders is the real deal. Even the national media is picking it up now. Sanders' social media engagement is higher than anyone else on the roster. People are watching this unfold in real time, and the pressure is mounting every single day. Now look, I respect Dillon Gabriel's talent. I really do. He's technically sound and was supposed to develop into a starter someday. But Sanders, he's playing like the future is already here. His ability to read blitzes, adjust protections, throw with touch and timings like he's been in the league for 5 years, not 5 weeks. The guy processes coverages like a machine, and every time he makes another perfect throw, Gabriel's world seems to shrink a little more. That's the emotional core of this story. For Gabriel, this isn't just about being outplayed. It's about losing the thing he built his identity around. His whole self-worth is wrapped up in being the quarterback, and now he's being forced to confront the idea that someone else might just be better. That's devastating. That's not jealousy, it's existential, And through it all, Sanders continues to show leadership. He keeps reaching out. He's mentoring younger players, running extra drills, grinding film like a veteran. One coach said, any other rookie would have cracked by now? But Sanders, he just keeps rising. Gabriel, he can't even look him in the eye anymore. Won't engage, won't joke around during QB meetings. He's building walls while Sanders builds bridges. And that contrast, shifting the culture in the building. Now the coaching staff is seriously concerned not just about Gabriel's mechanics, but about where he is mentally. This isn't just a few bad throws in practice. It's a guy who might be losing his grip while the pressure keeps climbing. And to try and fix it, performance coordinators are scrambling. They're building team exercises, hoping to hold things together before the season officially kicks off. But I'm telling you right now, the divide is growing wider every single day. Inside the Browns organization, two camps are starting to take shape. On one side, you've got the Sanders supporters. They're all in on fast-tracking SHEDEUR. They're looking at his insane processing speed, his raw playmaking talent, and saying, let's go now. Word is, the offensive coordinator is already crafting custom packages just for him, schemes that highlight his strengths while hiding the areas that still need work, and some of the veteran wideouts that they've started quietly asking for. More reps with Sanders too, even if it means stepping into some political hot water. But then you've got the Gabriel loyalists. They're pointing to the team's investment in him, a third-round pick, and saying, let the kid grow the traditional way. They're talking about his development arc and the danger of fast-tracking a rookie ahead of him. That Tugavor is putting enormous pressure on the whole building, because this isn't just about who's starting week. One, this decision could define the entire direction of the franchise, so please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support, and let's be honest, here SHEDEUR Sanders offers something Cleveland hasn't had in a while. Immediate upside, a spark. He could be the fix for those notoriously slow starts that always leave the Browns clawing. They're way back mid-season, but on the flip side, the locker room chemistry, especially on the defensive side, is teetering. That defense has carried the team through some dark days. And now it's watching a storm form in the QB room. This isn't just a battle of skill sets. This is political. It's emotional. It's personal. It's a puzzle that can't be solved just by who throws the better spiral in practice. From what I'm hearing, the front office has launched a full-blown damage control plan. They've expanded the leadership council. Veteran voices from all sides are being brought in to talk it out. Practices are being redesigned to keep competition fair, but still sharp. And yeah, there are actual team-building experts hosting interventions now. Interventions. That's how serious this is. Meanwhile, Gabriel, he's reportedly getting personalized counseling to help him through this whole mental roller coaster. It's that destabilizing. But what this all tells me is one thing. The Browns know they've got a real crisis on their hands. This isn't a bump in the road, it's a foundational test of the team's culture and leadership, and through it all, SHEDEUR Sanders just keeps his head down. He's not feeding the drama. He's not doing interviews about the controversy. He's just showing up and balling out. And according to people close to the team, his entire focus is on performance, not politics. One staff member put it perfectly, he's silencing the noise with execution. But the shadow over all this is Gabriel. And the sad part, it's not because he lacks talent or work ethic, it's because the guy who thought he was the future is watching that future get rewritten in real time, and it's breaking him down. Some folks inside the building are saying it might not be long before the team has to step in and formally address the environment just to keep things professional, and now ownership is stepping in. Yeah, ownership, from what I'm hearing. The business side of the Browns is falling in love with Sanders' off-the-field impact. The social media numbers, the brand appeal, the crossover marketability, it's all there. And even though Gabriel was the higher pick, some executives are reportedly pushing football ops to move Sanders up the depth chart. There's even a full-blown marketing blueprint that highlights Sanders as the face of the franchise. Gabriel? Not even mentioned. Imagine how that must feel. But fans are already making their voices heard. Ticket demand has exploded since Sanders started flashing in camp. His jersey sales are quadruple Gabriel's, and during open practices, the crowd roars when Sanders takes the field. Now, Gabriel gets polite claps at best. Social media? If Sanders clips are getting 37 times more engagement. Local businesses are making Sanders-themed promotions. Community groups are trying to book him for appearances. In a matter of weeks, a fifth-round pick has become the guy in Cleveland. And with that attention comes pressure. So the quarterback? Coaches, they're working overtime. A new fast-track mechanics plan has been rolled out for Sanders. The offensive staff is drilling blitz recognition into his weekly routine. Even the head coach has called for a media embargo to protect his focus. But I'll be real with you, that kind of acceleration, it's dangerous. The Browns are now trying to walk the tightrope between riding the wave and not burning there. Guy out too early, Gabriel, to his credit, is still getting support. The team isn't abandoning him. They've invested in him, and they're giving him a shot. But around the league? Executives are watching this play out hand. Some are already calling Cleveland. Other GMs are apparently wondering how Sanders dropped to the 5th round. Trade feelers are out. Both quarterbacks are being talked about. And now the Browns are caught in a rare and volatile situation to young QBs. Close in draft position, but worlds apart in momentum. This isn't just about Sanders versus Gabriel anymore. This is about Cleveland's identity.
What happens?
When raw talent disrupts the planned order, you cling to structure or evolve in real time? Because the ripple effects, they could last for years. If they mess this up, Gabriel's relationship with the staff and the locker room could be damaged beyond repair. Trust between players could break down. And everything the Browns have been building, this new culture, this sense of direction, could start to crack. What the Browns need now isn't just a decision. They need an organizational reckoning. This can't be solved by watching game tape alone. This takes emotional intelligence, team psychology, real leadership. Because if Cleveland tries to handle this with just cold performance metrics, they could lose both quarterbacks. And the locker room, too. Right now, every move the coaching staff makes is under a microscope. Veterans are questioning the way the team defines performance. Younger players are watching closely to see what the real standard is. What started as a simple camp battle has become a cultural turning point. But within all this chaos, lies a spark. Because SHEDEUR Sanders, a guy nobody was talking about on draft night, has become a franchise-altering force. He's out playing. The guy who was once seen as the future. The hierarchy has been shaken. Coaches are reevaluating philosophies.
In the front office, they're stuck between chasing a new era or falling back into old dysfunction. This is more than just a quarterback.
Controversy. This is the kind of moment that can launch the Browns into a new chapter or drag them back into the same cycle that's haunted this franchise for decades. And what happens next? It's going to define everything. How the Browns handle the pressure in that quarterback room, how they treat both players, how they respond to the expectations from fans, from ownership, and from the rest of the league. That's what's going to show us if this team is ready to become a true contender. So, we wait and we watch, because the future of this franchise, it's hanging in the balance right now. Thanks for watching, and see you next one.